What's up? J Street Moto here, and welcome to the channel. Thank you for watching this. This will be part 3 of day 10. So day 10 was when I had the guys come over and the Tres Amigos got together and we talked about the trip, just raw and candidly. You basically get to listen into 3 really good friends just chatting about what happened over a 15-day period. So I hope you're enjoying it. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you are, and if you haven't yet and you want to, please donate to the fundraiser. It will be in the description of the video and the comments. I hope you're enjoying it. Here's the third part.
It was freaking amazing.
This is not bad. There's blue skies. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. There's an occasional cloud. But it's
just
awesome. And then about 60
you
minutes.
crossed the bay.
60 minutes later, we're like, what the hell? It's rainy, it's foggy. You can't see but about 30 yards in front of your face. It's completely fog. It's just really, quite honestly, pretty bad riding for a motorcycle. But at the same time, it's neat because we haven't ridden our motorcycles here. We haven't been here. This is new riding for us. But at the same time, it sucks because it's like, well, these are mountain roads, but as opposed to mountain roads, if I drop off the edge here, I'm tumbling 1,000 feet into the ocean, and I'm going to die. But there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And let me just say this about the PCH. There's nothing about the PCH that we rode on that is like in the movies. Okay?
No, it's not Malibu.
No, it's not Malibu.
No, it's not Malibu.
It ain't Malibu.
When we were on the PCH, it was like riding in canyons, like caverns, like twisting and turning and switchbacks and left here and right there, and we are riding in
the
fog,
rain.
in rain.
You can't see.
And you can't see, so you are depending on the car or the person in front of you to be leading you.
Yeah, to know where you're going.
Because otherwise, you're going right off the edge. So I agree with that 100%. That Mother Nature has her own plan, and it really doesn't matter what our plans were.
No, it doesn't.
What about you?
So David said Mother Nature. You said
Pittsburgh Rare.
Pittsburgh Rare. So for me, I think it would be. You know what? Honestly, I'm going to get a little sappy for a second. Honestly, it's the fact that the 2 guys that I call best friends actually get along. That's the little thing that meant the most to me, because that's a hard thing to find. And people, anybody that rides understands you have to have a certain kind of person that you ride with.
Yep. You have to have the right dynamic.
Yep.
You got to have the right dynamic. And if you don't have that dynamic, it screws the entire ride up. It doesn't matter whether the ride's 1 hour or 15 days. And I was blessed enough to have my 2 best friends actually get along and mesh together. So for me, this trip, because Sturgis kind of gave a hint to it that it was possible. Key West gave a very small hint to it because it was too short of a ride.
Well, and Desi was there.
We had so many people.
We had so many people there,
and it wasn't really.
It was. This was the first ride with Juan and David that I was able to
listen. We have figured out we can go anywhere together.
Exactly,
and
that to me, while that means something to Juan, that means something to David. It means a different thing to me because I've got my 2 best friends that are able to do what we just did all together, and nobody's wanting to kill each other.
No,
absolutely.
And
you know what I mean? That's a big thing for me.
The power of 3 can be a good thing or a bad thing.
It absolutely can.
Right?
Because two is easy. when David and I went, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, hey, dude, look, you want to take, because I've got folks that ask me, they're like, oh, you take these long rides? Yeah. Who do you go with? And well, the first time it was him. And I'm like, well, I went with one other guy. And it's important that you pick the right other guy to go with.
Yeah.
You add a third
and when you
person.
add a third person, that changes the entire
Everything.
dynamic. It really does.
From the person who's leading to the person who's following.
Exactly.
To
Knowing.
Knowing each other.
Each
Just-
of us knowing
just
each
being
other
comfortable
and
with
being
each
comfortable
other.
to adjust to that.
Hell,
Yeah.
Is
even
is
our
the thing.
sleeping arrangements.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right? Like we all.
Well, David was like, "Look, you two snores."
I'm getting my own, but there were plenty of places.
But
that,
honestly,
there were plenty of
there were
places that
way-
could accommodate us.
But there were way less places
Yeah.
this trip that we split up than what we stayed together.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
did it very infrequently, and
We
and
did-
the biggest challenge all of us ran into when with the three of us were sitting together is who's gonna fucking get the sleep sofa. And it's
'Cause
like
we
all right,
all
no,
wanted to
no,
take
no.
it just to be.
We all wanted to take it just to be kind to the other two. But knowing that I've got a guy that I've known for 35 years and a guy that I've known for about a dozen, that the two of them get along in a way that just makes it easy for me. And that was probably the little thing I took from this was, all right, we really took a trip with Juan now. Because Sturgis wasn't really a trip.
Here's the good thing.
Sturgis was a rush.
Sturgis was a rush.
Here's the good thing for you, Jim. David and I are going on a trip together without you. So,
No, you're not.
So
There's no way that'll happen. There's no way that'll happen.
going to bond.
There's
We're
no
really
way.
gonna
There
bond.
is no way
Okay,
that'll happen.
now we'll never have a
I'm the
problem.
glue that puts you two together. There's no way that shit happens.
So you're the glue, huh?
Yeah, I'm the
All right.
glue.
You're the glue.
I'm the glue.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Do you want to be the glue?
I want to be the glue. I want to be the cream in the Oreo.
Of course you do.
I do. I want to be the cream in the Oreo.
But if you're the cream in the Oreo, what happens to Fluffy?
No, you're still fluffy.
Okay. so here's the thing. Next trip, we all agree. Mm-hmm. We're going to try for Halifax.
Yeah, Nova Scotia.
Scotia.
For sure. We're going into Canada. We're going to go as far north in Canada as we can.
We've already talked.
We've already talked
we're
about
fucking
that,
doing it.
and that's
done
what's
deal.
going down. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the next trip for us is going to see the Dropkick Murphys in Ireland, but we're not going to ride the bikes there. Although I did tell. Hey, here's a prelude. I'll give you a little precursor.
Not a motorcycle trail.
Wait a minute. Wait. I looked up where the Harley Davidson dealerships are in Dublin just so we could test ride bikes while we were there. Because if we
I
test
love it.
Ride bikes in Dublin, we
We've
can
ridden bikes
say
in Dublin.
we rode a motorcycle in Ireland. And that's the next trip.
So
Yeah.
Okay. So final thoughts is that.
Final thoughts.
Well, the one thing that I take away from this trip, as every other trip that we've done as a throuple or as
As a
friends,
couple. Yeah.
or as a couple, or as you know friends. All these cross country trips, they really remind me that no matter where you stand, politically, socially, economically, everywhere we went in this country, nobody asked us what political party we
Nope.
were part of.
No.
Nobody gave a crap.
No.
Nobody asked us where we stood on abortion or on any of the other hot topics that
They asked us where we were from.
they asked us
Where
where
are you
we were
going?
from and
and
where
where we're going.
exactly
And why are you doing
where are you going and why are you doing it. And when we would tell our story of what we were doing, there are so many people just in the middle of nowhere who are willing to help us, offer us assistance, whether that's in a windstorm in the middle of
Oh my God.
Oh, dude, day 11.
BFE, Day 11, Montana, you know, wherever it is.
North Dakota.
That was the
North
third thing that stood
Dakota.
out for me. The third thing that stood out for me on this trip.
It's the fact that the majority of America is in the middle of the political, social, whatever spectrum, and everybody appreciates and acknowledges and really doesn't care about the political aspect of it. They're just like,
They're just good people.
good people.
They're just good people.
They're good people,
That's right.
and they're like, you need help, we'll give it to you. Oh, I'm sorry, there's not a gas station for 13 miles. But my son has whatever business, and he can bring up gas.
That was
If
the
you
third.
can't make it there, we'll give you gas to get there. You know, it was that aspect that was tremendously impactful for me, because all we see, and this is a media society, whatever at large,
Social media.
it doesn't matter, left wing, right wing, middle wing, which is where I think 98% of us stand. You get so bombarded with all this negative, all this stuff that makes you think that you are different than everybody else, and quite honestly, you're not. You might have some differences, but for 98% of your life, your beliefs, your being, you're just like everybody else in America. It's outstanding.
We have forgotten as a society and as a country. The United States was built on taking care of people. It was built on being
looking
a
out
good
for
neighbor.
yourself
being a good neighbor.
and looking out for the next door neighbor.
Right.
That was it. That was
And so what you learn on a trip like this is it doesn't matter whether you're in Oklahoma or New Mexico or California or Montana, that there are good people everywhere we went. And, you know, I think about Lisa at the Lewis and Clark. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Little things like
Exactly.
having somebody move their car.
Yeah,
that
so
our
I
three-
could put my
so that
bike
our
in
three
front of
motorcycles
our,
could
so
be
our
in front
bikes
of
could
our,
be right in front of our room.
and it was a safety, like to make sure that our bikes were safe, right?
Just so we could feel
Or
secure.
the security
or
guard.
the fact that she was like, oh, y'all have had a hard day riding. Y'all might like the sauna and the hot. I'll keep it open.
I'll keep it open
you.
for you. And I'll let you bring some whiskey down there.
Yeah. or being in St. Louis and having the security guard who was there all night and said, "Don't
Yeah.
worry about your motorcycle.
Don't worry about your bikes. I'm watching them.
I'm watching them.
Exactly.
I'll take care of you."
Exactly.
Right? So for us, you know, we had weather. We did not, you know, knock on wood, we did not have any mechanical failures this time, like you guys had the last trip. But we had challenges the entire way, whether it was a 350-mile day where it was tough riding or it was a 730-mile day through the desert.
Yep.
You know, we
Yeah.
had tough days, but we cared for each other.
Yeah.
We had others on the road who we didn't know. Not one place did we go was a setup.
No.
Not one place,
No.
which was different than your trip, right? But not one place did we go was there somebody in waiting for us other than when we went to Sonoma to meet our wives.
Exactly. Exactly.
And we still had good people out there looking out for us.
Yeah. I agree.
And that's what makes me want to continue to do this over and over again. And for those of you that are listening, I have a 2020 Street Glide. I've been a long distance rider for the last 2 years.
Rock on,
Because
dude.
I finally
Rock on. Rock on.
own a motorcycle that
can
can
go
go
long
more than
distance.
100 miles in a day and not break down. Okay? And I will continue to be a long distance rider until I can't ride anymore.
I mean, that's the thing, right? And for me, it was, you know, we went to. It stands out in my mind what we dealt with when we went to Bismarck, which is tomorrow. The video tomorrow is day 11, and that's from Bozeman to Bismarck. It stands out in my mind.
It's one of the
tomorrow.
scariest days I've ever experienced.
I'm going to say it tomorrow in the video, but I will go ahead and ask the guys now. What was the shittiest day we rode?
Yeah, tomorrow.
That was it. Tomorrow.
It was day 11, and for me, it was when we pulled into that roadhouse in the middle of fucking nowhere. There's just a bar on the side of the road,
And the woman
by all these
came
bars, and I went. David's Googling gas stations to find out where they are because we're all getting low on gas and we're in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go in the bar. I went in the bar. I found this little old lady who owns the place. Nobody's in the bar, and I asked her, I'm like, where's the next gas station? And she's like, it's 13 miles the way you pulled in, because she paid attention to where we came from. She's like, go 13 miles that way, you're gonna hit a gas station. You don't have any issues. And I came back out to my bike, got on, we're all getting ready to go, and this little old lady comes running out and she's like, hey, if you don't have enough gas to make it that 13 miles, my son owns a lawnscaping company. He's got gas in cans. He will bring them over here to give them to you. And that was the thing that it's like at that moment, I'm like, all right, my faith in humanity has been restored.
Yep.
I'm like, holy.
My faith in humanity with Jim telling the story has been restored, because that was about the point in time that the winds sucked so bad. I was on a incline trying to change my gear so that I could get into first gear, actually, so that the bike wouldn't roll back.
He's gonna say.
And my bike fell over. I'm
say it.
standing still, and the wind
Knocked his bike over.
The wind is so bad at this point in this part of the trip that it is so bad, it just, I didn't have a choice. It blew me and the bike over. And it's not the first one that happened this trip.
No, it's not.
But it happened, and it's the first time I've laid this bike down, and I was mortified. But I picked the bike up, and honestly, the paint job, everything with Harley Davidson was good. No scratches, no nothing, good to go. But it's that point in time as a motorcycle rider driver that it's like, son of a bitch.
It's the lowest point that you
It's the lowest point you can be.
I've got two of my friends here, and they both saw me. The bike just fucking
Fall over.
The bike just fell over because I was paying more attention to my cell phone, trying to find gas stations with Google and wasn't paying attention in this. We were in horrendous winds, and it's funny because we didn't know at the time. We find out later that the winds this day are constant,
45 miles an hour.
Sustained about
and gust up to 60.
Up to 60.
Yeah, sustained up to 45 with gusts up to 60. And so I just happened to be perpendicular to those winds at this point in time and not paying attention, just trying to mess with my phone, trying to find a gas station. And a gust of wind came up, and I couldn't hold my bike up. And it wasn't the first time, but it was at that moment where I realized, okay, this is what somebody else in our group feels like. This sucks. This sucks so bad.
All right. So David's doing a great job of throwing me under the bus without throwing me under the bus.
I didn't say anything.
You didn't throw you under the bus.
So I mentioned it earlier in the discussion that Dave and I had something in common. We both lost our phones on the trip off the motorcycles.
And
you both dropped your bikes.
We both dropped our bikes in a parking lot.
But you fell over like a roly-poly.
I did.
you did.
Now, I have to explain this, okay? As we're pulling into a parking space and I have to pee,
We were in
like
Utah.
there is no tomorrow.
Oh, I know.
I went to go put my kickstand down, and my leather pants got caught on the kickstand, and it wasn't completely locked. So when I leaned the bike over, we just did a slow roll onto our sides.
And I really wish, I'm sorry, I'll apologize as the videographer, that I did not have my camera running when that happened, because that would have been a moment for posterity.
And,
right there.
and as a secondary videographer in this series, I was clueless at this point.
David had no clue what happened.
So Jim's like, what the hell's up with the wine? I'm like, I don't know. What the hell are you talking about? I'm putting gas in my bike. What are you talking about? So yeah, I never saw that. I cannot speak as to.
Although he is the one
Lawrence.
that brought it up on the conversation. He can't speak to it. He didn't see it.
I didn't
He
bring
caught
it up.
He caught it.
I said
he
I was
caught
looking
it
at
as
the
a
first
third party.
Hey, he didn't bring anything up. All he said was he wasn't the only one it happened to.
Yeah, I got it.
There's 2 others of us that it could have happened to.
I'm sorry
happened
that
to me,
Juan.
or it could happen to
I'm
Juan.
sorry that Juan feels emasculated.
We're sorry that Fluffy fell over.
And just for all of you listening,
It's going downhill quick.
It is.
Fluffy may be the white filling in the middle of the Oreo cookie, but these 2 assholes are definitely the dark chocolate on the outside.
We are. We absolutely are. And I freely admit I will put Juan in between us anytime. All right, guys. So that's it. We are done for this wrap. I'm sorry the video took so long. I hope that you stayed around and listened to us talk. And the fundraiser's still open. If you like what I'm doing, please subscribe to the channel and like the video. Click that notification bell because it'll let you know when something comes out new. And well, yeah, that's it. But welcome to our threesome, because the 3 of us,
Trace Amigos, baby.
the Trace Amigos, act a weird way. So you've had a little taste of how we are. Always ride safe.